Hi friends, welcome to my channel, Survive, Overcome, Thrive. I'm Dr. Hannah, a board-certified family medicine physician. This video that you are about to see will not provide you with any medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. And the opinions you will hear in this video are my personal opinions and the opinions of some guests who might come to this YouTube video channel, but they don't represent any organization or any entity. Hi everybody, this beautiful place is called the Upper Room Chapel, and it is really a beautiful place in Nashville, peaceful and serene, and more importantly, it tried to open your heart to reflect in our busy lifestyle, the treadmill of the rat race we're all in, just to take your moments and just be quiet and reflect on something deeper than just your bank account, how well you do, how you do in approval of people, success, relationships. Just focus on a deeper relationship with God, your maker. And this place, as in many other places, will invite you to take that moment of just quietness and serenity. You know, I'm sure every one of us has so many things that we have been struggling with. In fact, not just struggling with today, but every single day of our lives. And here I'm not using anything fancy. I'm just holding this camera with my hand because this is just a spontaneous moment when I said maybe it is time to really just open this opportunity and begin to let you come with me in a journey of reflecting into the depth of your soul beyond the things that we are all used to. Many of us are already thinking about how the day went or still working and how you're going to do tomorrow. You worry about your finances. You worry about relationships. You worry about what's going to happen if that doesn't happen. And in the midst of all of that, there is that call to establish a peaceful relationship beyond the things that you can hold and touch. A physical relationship just lasts for a short time and back again to our pursuit of something deeper to nourish our soul and fill our inner hunger. In the busyness of this life, you and I must find that place where we can just sit down and say, I want to spend time with God. We pursue spending time with our work or pursue spending time with relationships and definitely romance and name what we're spending time in doing. But none of those really can be equal to spending time in reflection in a deep relationship with your maker, with God. You know, the Bible talks a lot about stillness. In Psalm 46, the Bible talks about, be still and know that I'm God. But think about the time when you pursue a relationship and you devote your life to it, and then you recognize that something inside of you is not yet fulfilled. And that relationship can be with people, can be with a loved one, can be with romantic relationship, can be at work. And so the nature of relationships is it doesn't satisfy us. It doesn't completely fill us up. And so we pursue relationships that we try to fill our inner emptiness and so on. But what God is calling us to do is to pursue a relationship in the quietness and the stillness, where you start to realize there is more in our lives, and we are pursuing everything else in life. I'm sure every one of us has pursued something, be it relationship, be it success, be it anything. But to pursue God in the same intensity and pursue Him, meaning you want to spend time alone with God. You know, the Bible talks about Jesus and how Jesus pursued relationship with God, and we talk about Jesus as God who walked on earth. But Jesus pursued a relationship, and the quietness of the relationship with God, He found it in the mountains. You know, Jesus is known to leave the crowds, and just leaving the crowds, He goes and pursues time with God. And then He returns to the crowds to reflect and be able to do okay. I want to think about that and say, if you consider pursuing God in the same intensity where you leave the crowds of, employments, the crowd of relationships, the crowd of success, the crowd of fun, all the crowds associated with other stuff, and just spend time to pursue God like Jesus did. And He went to the mountains and He took time to pursue God. And then He returned back to the crowds. He didn't disappear and go away. And so should we should you and I do? Pursue God, but then come back. And at the time when we come back, we are having God in us, filling our inner needs, our emptiness. And so we pursue God after we get filled and refilled, and our hunger and thirst all satisfied in a relationship with God. And then we come and we can do great at work. We can do great in our pursuit of relationships, in our choices, in our how we choose things and how we are wise, how to choose to listen to God's voice and be led by Him. And so this word is an encouragement. You need to get out, go to the mountains. I don't know what is your mountains. I don't know. My mountains can be just a place like that called the Upper Room in the middle of Nashville, Tennessee, and just be able to sit down and reflect on something deeper, reflect on life, reflect on death and the day when we meet God in heaven, reflect on the journey of your life, reflect on, what's have already passed and what can be done and how can I be light and can I be salt and how can I finish the journey of this life well. And we all need to do that. It's not all just about money and how to please people and how to get approval of people and make that $1 million before retirement or buy that second house and more houses. It's about realizing this is all temporary and life is passing and we're not going to be forever young or forever healthy or forever able to just stay on earth. We're all going to die one day. And so the chance for us to pursue God, to find the place of rest in God and be able to come out of that stronger and lovelier, I guess. You love others because you feel loved by God. I want to take you to some stories in the New Testament, and you're going to see stories such as the love that God wants us to find in Him. And when we pursue Him, we're going to find that love. And I want to take you also, when we are pursued by God, we find love from God. Look at the examples here. Example, the stories of the lost sheep. The Bible talks about the shepherd leaves the 99 lost sheep and he goes and finds the one lost sheep. So in other words, he has 99 that are already safe and okay, but there is one lost sheep and he looks for that one lost sheep. And the Bible talks about the shepherd in Psalm 23, where the shepherd is taking the sheep, leading the sheep, protecting the sheep. And guess where do we find that? We find that when we come to spend time with God, when we listen to Him, when we are still and know that He is God who loves us, who is our shepherd. And additionally, some examples, for example, look at the tiredness and the weariness. One of the amazing stories that really can touch your heart is the story of Mary and Martha. And I truly love the story of Mary and Martha because the story of Mary and Martha, I'm going to make some changes here. That way you can take a look at this amazing site as well. But the story of Mary and Martha is a story of what happened here is Martha was busy. I guess you are busy too. I'm busy too. Always finding something extra to do and this thing to be done and this thing to be done. And Martha was so busy trying to prepare nice meal and please all the crowds, back then. And maybe even now there are people who have so many high demands and they love to just enjoy a very, very beautiful meal. And Martha was preparing that meal. And she goes to Jesus, and because Mary was sitting at the feet of Jesus, listening to Him, connecting with Jesus. And then Martha tells Jesus, go, Jesus, please tell Mary to get up and help me out to prepare the meal and so on. And I love that. It's a story in Luke. And in that story, Jesus said to Martha, 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 Mary has chosen the right thing. And that He told Martha that she's thinking about too many things that she's worried about. But there's only one thing that really matters. And Mary has chosen this one thing. And that one thing was spending time with God, connecting with God, taking a time to rest and find a time to be alone with God. And she did. She sat down at the feet of Jesus and she found love and peace and joy. That was her moments going to the mountains, away from the crowds. And so these stories remind us, me and you cannot function well if we continue to do that rat race 24/7, running our lives just on a treadmill. We need to get out of that treadmill and just find that moment to spend time with God to, I would say to recalibrate our thinking, to reset our thoughts and emotions, to recognize what's important, what is more important? What is better than what we're doing? And what's better is when we recognize that He is there for us, but He wants to spend time with us so that we can know we are loved and that we can come rejuvenated and ready to do good things, not just for our lives, a better life for ourselves, but also a better life that we can help many people to have a better life when we become rejuvenated and strengthened. I leave you with this final story. And this final story is about from the well. And then and then he told her, the water I give you, you will never be thirsty, but the water you drink, you will always be thirsty. And she kind of got confused. You don't have a bucket to get water. And how can you say that? And then he kind of told her who she is, how much he knows about her. And he told her he knows that she has been married 5 times. And the man she lives with is not her husband. Now, that lady was running a rat race, a treadmill of one romantic relationship, or less than romantic, just sensual, sexual relationship, one after another. And then she was caught as she was invited to take a moment to just rest. And when Jesus said, drink the water I give you, he meant to say to her, what I give you, the love I give you, the relationship I share with you, and you become, when you spend time with me, then you're going to be satisfied in your soul. You will never be thirsty again, period. I guess when you get married 5 times and live with someone who's not a spouse, you might have been thirsty. I bet you were if that happened to you. But that's common. That's not something to be, God is not looking down at you or on me or anybody, because He knows we are thirsty and hungry. And until we find that moment of rest with Him, drinking His water, which is having a relationship with Him, time spent with Him, we will continue to be rushing and doing that again and again. So, and even though I said that was my final one, I got another one for you. And this one is the story of the prodigal son. The story of the prodigal son is amazing. It's a story where someone who was super thirsty for relationship and success, and he said to his father, give me the inheritance money. I want to spend it. I want to have it. Well, that was disrespectful. The father is still alive, and this kid is saying, give me the inheritance money. And so he gave him the inheritance money, and he went, spent it, wasted it, and did terrible things with it. And then finally he ended up in a pigsty, cannot even eat the food the pigs were being fed. And then he said, wow, I think I'm through with this treadmill, running races, still hungry and thirsty. I need to go back to the father. And he went back to his father. Guess to his surprise, he made the right decision when he said, I want to be still and listen to God's voice, to my father's voice. And then he came to his surprise. He was thinking he was going to beg his father to give him a small place where the servants are, but he did not. In fact, he restored him back to the family. He gave him the ring that kind of shows he belongs to the family, put a coat on him that is also family, embraced him back to the family. And guess what? This is what happens when we come back tired and sinful and did terrible things. We come back and say, can you take me back? I want to spend time with you, God. And He did. The prodigal son story is a story of many of us. We need time to rest and reflect. Now, today I'm going to consider that as my moment in the mountains, when I just kind of sit down and reflect on God and His goodness, taking a break from 1.5 million things. And I think you also need that. We all need that. You're going to be happy, but you're going to reset your thinking process, and the priorities will be put in order so you don't be rushing after things that will never satisfy you, but you will be enjoying life, a better life. Guess what? And in the process, you're going to be preparing for an eternity in heaven. Until we talk again, find your quiet moments, find your mountain, and be still and know God is talking to you, and be able to listen to Him. God bless you. Bye-bye.